welcome to our Total Potential live party. We are so excited
We're here
to be celebrating the launch of our first book, Total Potential, How to Create a Culture of Growth and Wellness so your whole family can thrive. And we just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you so much for joining us in this celebration. Jake and I were just talking about how in many ways this book has been bringing a baby into the world. Only the gestation period was more like 2 years than 9 months. And so we're just so grateful to be celebrating with you all right now. I'm Cole Berschbach. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a certified yoga instructor, an unbeatable mind coach, and partners in crime when it comes to total potential with my little but much bigger brother, Jake.
And my name is Jake. I live in Minneapolis with my wife, Haley, and my 2 kids, Jackson and Dylan. I was a professional hockey player. Now I'm a CrossFit certified coach, an Unbeatable Mind certified coach, and just been super excited to be on my own personal journey of becoming what my full potential is, and super excited to be on this journey with everybody.
Yes. Okay, you guys, we wrote this book for so many reasons. It's a really long list of reasons. But when we think about the end goal, all we really care about is how do we help and support families to live a life of growth and a life that they love living together. There's so much potential that lives inside of our family units, and the chance to bring that forth in others is just so life-giving to us. And we're so excited to share that with you. We know from being parents ourselves that parenting right now is kind of like the parenting Olympics. It is so busy. We are running in a wild race. We're strapped for time. It's challenging to, fill all those different buckets that need to be filled. But what we know is that all of the work that is possible and available in the context of our family is it can change the trajectory of our lives, and not just for right now, because when we do work in our families, it literally matters for generations to come. And it's just so exciting to think that anything at all that you can dream, that you can imagine is possible for you and your family. And that's why we wrote this book, to share the tools, the practices, the mindsets that we all can use to become that family unit, not just us, not just ourselves, not just to become for us, but to become in our marriage and become in our families, and what is possible there. It's just so exciting. We know also that over the last 18 months or so, there's been a lot of opportunity, we'll call it, to see the places where our families are strong versus the places where there's maybe some challenges. And I think now more than ever, the chance to create your own happiness, your own path to success, to anchor to the things that really matter to you, there's never been a better or more important time to do that. And that's just why we're so excited to share this with you.
Also, what we're super excited about is, based off of what Cole just said about the family dynamic, we're super excited about partnering with United Heroes League and what their charity has to offer. We are going to talk about them later on, but we'd love to show you just a quick video right now of a little bit about what their mission entails.
United Heroes League helps military kids and their families build confidence, friendships, and engagement through sports. Learn more and support United Heroes League by visiting unitedheroesleague.org.
Yeah, so we'll be talking later about how our partnership works with them, especially with our book and our launch today. But what we'd like is to also let you know about Amazon is where you can find our book, and also on our website, thetotalpotential.com/book. We'd love for you to check that out. And with the purchase of the book, we have a ton of really cool offerings and some free tools that you can use as you're working through the book with all the stuff we talk about. So we'd love for you to have access to all those free tools as well.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, we have been so excited to share this with you. We recently met Dane Espegard. He wrote this phenomenal book called The Dream Machine. He was on our podcast recently as well. And he has this remarkable process for dreaming as a couple and as a family. And he couldn't be here live with us today, but he was so kind to pre-record a little bit of information about this amazing process that he has and how we in our families can utilize it to really like think way outside of the box and think a lot bigger. So take it away, Dane.
Here we are on book Total Potential. Really excited about the launch of this new book. I'm really excited for Cole and Jake, and also at the same time bummed that I wasn't able to make this event live. So I wanted to talk about a few things. I've had the opportunity to get to know Cole and Jake recently, and I've been extremely impressed. And I love their intention around the most important topic that's out there, which is family. And the purpose of me kind of giving a short little message here is kind of connecting the dots between two things, which is total potential family and really the purpose of dreaming within the family. And dreaming is kind of the that's how Cole, Jake, and I actually were introduced, was that our topics really overlapped quite a bit. So, you think about in the business world in general, if you were to talk to any organization, they're going to talk about 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and so forth and so on. But, when left to our own situation, oftentimes people aren't talking about the 5-year plan for their family or 10-year plan. And really what's missing there for a lot of people is vision. In every leadership book that's out there, one of the most common traits that the book will talk about that a leader needs to possess is vision. And when it comes to our families, it's the same. We need to have that vision for what are we trying to build? What are the values that we want to, instill into our family, into the culture of our family, into the young people in our family. And that's where I think Dreams has a really cool opportunity to bridge the gap between maybe where we're at right now and where we want to go. And in my experience working with corporations as well as individuals, families specifically, that the vernacular around dreams and just the language around dreams in general allows it to be more fun, more freeing. So when it comes to dreams, it's very similar to just goals in general. The difference though is with goals, a lot of times people set goals that we know are attainable, we know we can for sure do. And dreams allows us to kind of, again, dream, but be less grounded in it of anything is possible. And hey, if I were totally in control, how would I want this to be and this to be? And that's what's fun about just the dreaming concept in general. And so for me, my journey with dreams really started in the business world. And, I started doing it in work and knowing if I wanted it to stick at work, I had to do it at home. And what I noticed very quickly was that through the dreaming process at home, there were these massive benefits that I wasn't even, again, intentionally focused on, but they started to happen on a regular basis with my, then girlfriend, now wife, and now with our children as well. And that's the stuff that I'm excited to talk about is just the place of dreaming within the family organization. And, there's a quote that I operate almost everything that I do out of, and that quote is, when there's hope in the future, there's power in the present. And the idea behind this is that if we can clearly see what we're trying to build, it gives us so much energy for the decisions today. And this could, that quote could be applied to finances. Hey, here's where I'd like to be, and if I can see it clearly, it's a lot easier to make the disciplined decisions today. My health, hey, if I can see where I want to be, a year from now or 6 months from now, it's easier to make that tough decision today. And the same thing is true with the family. Right. And so what are the dreams that somebody has within their family? So dreams are goals, but, they kind of give you that playfulness around it. I think that language also really helps when it comes to children. So one of the concepts that I teach about is just that, it's a leadership concept. I also think it's just a life principle, which is, leading by example. So if somebody's excited about the concept of, dreaming within their family, they've got to be willing to do the work themselves, right? And so it's the whole be the change, right? So within my organization, at first it was, hey, if I want this thing to stick, I've got to be all about dreams. So I brought it to my relationship. And we started dreaming and diving into our lists and making these master dreams lists of, hey, what are all the things that we want to do throughout our life? And when we do this process, it doesn't have to be this way. There's no wrong way to do it. But we do 9 categories. And through that process, we have travel, where do we want to go, what types of trips, especially with who, adventure, material, all those types of things. And then there's a category for family and relationship. There's also a category for health. There's a category for finances. And through that, what's cool is that you start to see this common thread of, what's really important to me, right? So it taps into those values. And as my wife and I did this, what we started to recognize is where we were different, but also where we were aligned. And that really helped with our relationship. I just had the opportunity last week to do a workshop with it was a mastermind group. So it wasn't necessarily a business setup. It wasn't a family setup. It was just individuals. And a lot of these people run, very successful organizations. And the feedback that I got is that it was more helpful for their family life than it was even on the business side of things. And again, why is because the things that people were writing on there were things that, when given this space to think about, it's like, yeah, this is how I want my family to be. These are the examples that I want to set for my children. These are the, somebody in the group said, I want to attend a marriage seminar / retreat with my wife every year. Right. And I stole that on mine. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Right. And so it's just, you get, when we have the time to think about intentions and best version, we come up with things that we know are important to us, but we get bogged down with the day to day. And that stuff kind of falls to the wayside. And all of a sudden it's a year later, 2 years later. And it's important to bring that back and have that, I believe, to have that at the core of our most important relationships in our lives, which are the relationships with ourselves, with our spouse, and also with our children. That's what I believe. And also faith, being a big part of that as well. So leading by example, I really like the terminology dreams. I think that makes a difference with our kids. I think that hearing my daughter, who's 5 years old, this was just the other day, we were at the zoo in St. Paul, the Como Zoo, and she saw a carousel that was filled, this super old carousel that was filled with these horses, going up and down and music playing, and she just lost it in a positive way and was like, I've been dreaming about this every day. I've been dreaming about this every day. And it was the cutest thing ever to see her connecting the words of I've been dreaming. She's obsessed with horses. And so she loves the idea of carousels, and I've been dreaming about this. And for her to kind of realize that dream was so cool for me to see, because that's what we want in our family, is for our kids to always have this abundance mindset, right? To believe that anything is possible. There's a way to it, not just things happen, but that we can figure things out. I believe that when somebody kind of adopts this style of thinking of the dreams mindset at a young age, a byproduct of that is just really believing that anything is possible. Because when we're working as a family or with kids or at work with the whole idea of how do we accomplish a dream, I mean, that's the same thing as how do we accomplish a goal or how do we solve a problem. And so what we're teaching and modeling by that is this way of, okay, if this is where we want to be and this is where we're at, how do we get there? And that's the whole, abundance mindset of anything is possible. And that's what I'm excited about, for our kids to be able to learn from us. I just had a friend of mine ask, hey, when did you start your first dreams list with Elin? Elin's our oldest kid. And I said she was 4 when we did it, but it wasn't the most developed list at first. It was mostly she wants to own every animal that's out there, including unicorns, right? And then on top of that, it was also, there's a few travel places because we've traveled with our kids that she had down, but it was just the early stages of developing that list. And we're going to go back to this again and again and again for her to continue to, build out this list of things that she would be really excited about. And I think that, when we look at in a world that we live in right now, where, mental health is such a concern across the entire world, I think that this is needed more now than ever. And I think that, there's so many different places that our families and our kids get education. and that, they should be getting the core of their education should be coming from the home. And if I'm equipping, again, my kids with the opportunity of focusing on what's in their control, I mean, that's such a valuable resource and tool for them. I think about COVID and watching what I do for my day job, if you will, is work quite a bit with 18 to 22 year olds. And so I get to see a lot of different individuals and many people who struggled during COVID, rightly so, right? And they were in isolation, and they also lived in a very uncertain time. We don't know what next month's going to be like. We don't know what next semester is going to be like. And there's a lot of people that struggled with that. But I did see that the people that were really focused on, setting objectives for themselves, working towards those things, people that just were intentional, they thrived during that time. And the reason is, they had more time, if you will, available to themselves. And so during that, they weren't just sitting around regressing. They were working towards things that were on these said dreams lists, where they could say, hey, you know what? I've wanted to learn a new instrument. This is a perfect time for me to tackle that, right? And so I think that these things are so valuable to be able to be in the home on a regular basis, is having these dreams lists. You can put them up on your wall. You can have a whiteboard of, upcoming dreams. You can use that to plan travel, family trips, right? Or maybe we're going to see family and there's a location that's nearby that's on, young Johnny's list, and we're able to go and achieve that as well. I also think that the applications of dreaming in the family are so important because of the marriage. And I think that dreaming with your spouse, dreaming by yourself, I think is the most important thing. And the reason is, again, leading by example. You can't expect other people to do it if you're not going to be doing it yourself. And I think that when you're able to do this with your significant other, wow, what a powerful extra thing for your relationship. And so I'm going to talk just briefly about this, and this is probably the last couple of things that I'll mention, but my wife and I started doing, and we were doing this actually as we were dating, we would do year-end reviews. Okay, so just like at work, if you have a review to see how you're doing and give some feedback and talk about your future, this is what we would do at the end of our year. So we'd get together and we'd do a few things, and we wanted it to be somewhat of a simple process that was engaging and fun. And so towards the end of our year, we'll sit down and we do a few things. Number one is we'll go through our cell phone camera roll. And we've got a little notepad pulled out, and what we're doing is we're jotting down and pulling out all of the highlights of the year. Like, oh, that was really awesome in January when we went to the local theater, or that one trip was really great, or you know what, that random Friday night dinner or barbecue with this one couple, that was really cool. And so we're pulling out as many highlights from the year as possible. What that does, it puts us in a great place, right? As we're together, we're like, oh, we're reliving all the highlights of the year, which is great. We're also documenting it so we can try and steal as many of those things and duplicate them into the next year's calendar, right? The other stuff that we do is we'll go through we use Google Calendar, but we'll go through our calendars, and we'll also do the same thing. We're looking for anything that we missed that we didn't, take a picture of. And so we're pulling that stuff out. So now we've got this list. We also have our dreams list pulled up, and we're looking at how many dreams did we accomplish the previous year with our highlights. So that allows us to look at the year and not focus on, the rough stuff and how it wasn't great and all the challenges that we had, which we have every year. But it allows us to focus on what's going well, what's awesome, what do we really enjoy, and what were such great parts of our year, right? So this puts us into that kind of attitude of gratitude to be able to go into planning for the next year. So then what we do for the next year is that we'll have our dreams list out, and we say, last year was great. How do we make sure that we take what made last year great, do it again, and then also accomplish another 5 to 10 dreams on our list? And a lot of the dreams aren't massive things. It could be learn a new skill, take a new class. It could be a way that we want to live. It could be a health related thing. It could be a financial thing. It could be a trip. And so a lot of these, some of them are individual. Like, hey, I have on my list, I want to do this year, right? So I always joke around about this, but I'm a big Packers fan. That's on my list. So every year when we do this, it's like, hey, if I can, I want to go to the Packers Super Bowl, right? Fictitiously, until it happens, but it's on there every year. My wife has a lot of things that aren't necessarily my cup of tea, she has a lot of stuff with horses on her list. And so she'll say, I really want to enter this competition, or I really want to go and spend a week at this one ranch with this one person that I've been following online, whatever, right? Like different things like that. And so what it allows us to do is completely be on the same page of supporting the other person. And so then when we want to spend our family resources or be away from the family individually for something, like we're able to understand that it's not just this on a whim thing, but it's something that's going to cross a dream off our list. It allows us to understand the other person's needs and desires. And, you know, my wife and I talk a lot about like this stuff with horses for her. There are things with that I wouldn't be able to fulfill myself. And for me to be on board and supportive of her spending time and resources on that shows, you know, her how much I care and love and support her. And so for us to be able to do that, we go into the year with so much vigor and excitement of like, this is going to be the best year of our lives no matter what. And I think that that's added a really cool element to our relationship. And I hope that, you know, that's something that could add to yours as well. I just want to end with saying I'm so excited for again, the launch of the Total Potential book for Cole and Jake. This is such a cool thing that you guys have put together and put out there into the world. I'm excited about the launch, but I'm also excited to see the difference that it makes in people's lives, and also what happens with the book, you know, in the upcoming weeks and months and years after. So thanks for having me again. I wish I could be there in person with you guys. Congratulations to Jake and Cole, and we'll see you all soon.
All right, you guys, Dane was so awesome. Like, he is just so inspiring.
Yeah.
I do want to catch a few of the really cool things he said, but I also had a chance during his video just to see some of the lovely comments that you all are posting, and just want to say thank you for all the love and encouragement. It's just like, it really means the world to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dane was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when we got a chance to talk to him on the podcast, I mean, the thing that I think is so cool about what he's doing is this mindset around like how we dream, right?
Yes.
Like I had mentioned when we talked to him, my whole life has been like goals, right? Goal, and sometimes it can feel like tasks. And just shifting that to dreams and letting your mind just go crazy of like what you want your life to actually be like, with no parameters from society or from, you know, anything that's been taught to you in your life. It's just literally just shut down the world and let your mind just go.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's just such a cool thing.
It's so powerful. And I think in our marriages is maybe the spot where I see it being even more powerful than like across other areas, because when I think about having like a marriage goal, I'm not totally sure that there's something that comes to mind, to be perfectly honest.
It's a weird thing to have
It's
a goal
yeah. But when I think about like dreaming for my marriage and like the possibility that's in marriage, like that sets a different tone and has so much excitement behind it.
For sure.
The other thing that, you know, his process is so powerful in is that it like makes us really adaptable. Oftentimes I'll feel like goals are very like parameter driven, like got to stay within the parameters. But when you're dreaming, it's like, well, hey, this opportunity presented itself, and like, we're going for that because something about that is part of our dreams list. So thank you so much to Dane. You can find out more about Dane and his book on all of his social media channels. His website is daneespegard.com. Definitely check out his book. It's phenomenal. And we're going to be continuing to work with Dane over time, because his work matches our work in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're so excited about. What we got going is, you know, we like we just had talked about, like letting your mind go crazy and have these huge dreams for your life. What we're super excited about our work is that we want to make those dreams reality. So putting some things into our life and using some different tools and techniques that we've picked up over the years, and trying to decipher all those dreams down to actionable steps that we can use in our lives to make that stuff happen. So, you know, we're super excited about just the concepts of our book. When we break it down, we talk about 7 character traits. It's kind of the foundational kind of tools that we can use, you know, as we're working through all of this stuff. And, you know, when we look at those, it's like courage, positivity, awareness, right? And kind of the theme of what you'll hear from our book is there's a lot of these kind of things out there as far as when we're looking at ourselves, right? Of like personal growth. How do we develop courage, and how do we develop a mindset of positivity? And what we're super excited about is taking that concept and expanding it into what we feel is the most important thing, and that's your family dynamic. So when you look at those 7 character traits, right, it's like, how do I develop a practice with my wife and with my kids to increase the courage of our family? So not only personally, but what can we do as a group, right? What are some things that potentially get us out of our comfort zone that we can support each other on, that we can do together? And like Cole mentioned earlier, this is like a generational type thing, right? Like if we work on ourselves, that's awesome, and it's super important. Like Dane mentioned in the video, we can't hold each other accountable if we're not doing the work ourselves. So that's where it starts for sure. But then as you look at integrating that into your family, I mean, what a cool concept to think of, like, man, if we can raise our kids in an environment where they can start to learn these these traits from a young age, what's the possibility for them as they grow into adults and take on the world? I mean, it's just
shivers down my spine.
It's so awesome, right? And so we look at those character traits, and those are things that we can use, right? And then when we get into kind of the 3-legged stool, right, of the mind, the body, and the spirit, those are kind of those areas that we think are super important as far as, just cultivating that room for growth, right? So as we're dreaming and we're thinking really big, and now we break it down into these subcategories of, so when we're looking at our body, right, movement, nutrition, not only if we look at a personal practice, but then we bring it into our relationship with our spouse. What are things that we can do together, not only on a connection standpoint, but also to push ourselves on the, physical, right? It could be a walk, it could be a jog, depending on whatever fitness level you and your spouse are at. There's something that you can do together for sure, to really promote that inside your marriage. And then when we look at doing that same thing with our kids, there's so many fun things that we can do together that you get done with and you're sweating and you didn't even realize that you just got a workout in.
My favorite thing from Jake over the past 2 years has been, like, the default is yes.
Yeah.
Because Jake and his family were in Florida last year. It was cold at the time, and the kids want to surf and they want to go in the ocean and they want to, like, try all this fun stuff. And I'll never forget, Jake was like the water's real cold, but, like, my default answer is yes. And the memories and, like, the excitement and everything that gets created just because you're opting into that, like, active bonding experience with your family, like, it's so fun. It's not work. Like, it is fun.
It's amazing. And like I said, then you get home after it's over and you're like, holy crap, I'm super tired. So not only did you get to have an awesome experience with your kids, but you got a good workout in too. So, when we're shifting into the mindset piece, again, it's no different, right? You have these 3 core categories: the personal practice, the practice with our spouses, and then how do we together as a husband and wife, how do we bring that into the relationship with our kids, right?
Yeah.
So, with that mindset practice, it's like that the personal discipline, right? To staying very accountable to what you have to do, whether it's a morning practice or an evening ritual or breath work or whatever that winds up being for you personally. You have to stay disciplined to it, right?
Yeah.
It just is what it is, because then you can bring that into your relationship with your wife or husband and have this super awesome, powerful practice together. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It might be a simple conversation, right? Over getting ready in the morning, or it is what it is, right? A lot of us have lots going on, and it's finding these cool little pockets that you can have these little practices that we talk about in the book.
Well, and something we talk about in the book in this mindset area that's really been impactful, like even in my own life, is change. Like, the word discipline comes from the word to teach. And that has really shifted so much for me, because, like, discipline, oftentimes when I think of discipline, it's like, okay, I have to set my alarm clock. I have to be up at a certain time. I have to do, like, it's very rigid. But if I look at like everything I do as an opportunity to learn, like all of a sudden something totally different is available.
For sure.
So I love that so much. And welcome to being live. My Roomba's going, so I'll be right back.
Yeah. And you know, the part of the book that I'm super excited about is the concept of the Spirit, right? Of how we bring this element of faith into our family. I think it's this is something that, like Cole had mentioned earlier today, this last 18 months has been this roller coaster ride of all this stuff going on, and pulling your emotions and everything so many different directions. But what's really cool is that if we really turn inward, not only personally, but then inside of our family, and we really have these deep conversations about our spirituality, our faith life, right? Like, what does faith mean to us? What is this idea of like, there's something greater than what we're actually seeing here. So, when we look at that area of our book, it's things like contentment, right? Like being okay with right where we are, why
right
we're
now.
Here, what's the purpose, dig it into here and now, not, man, I wish, I was 10 years down the road with a fancy house and all sorts of whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's God's put us here for a reason. We're here exactly where we are because we're supposed to be. And, I just think that, I'm really, really excited for people to read that area of our book.
That's my favorite
really dig
chapter of
into
our
that.
book.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the yoga teacher in me or what, but I just think like if we take the mindset that we are always going to be growing and changing and becoming, it shifts our relationship with like being okay right now. Because I know that like the next step is always going to offer something new. There's always going to be a new layer. And it allows me to be okay exactly where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's such a beautiful lesson to teach our children that like, you don't always have to have more. You don't have to have anything any particular way at all. Like everything is okay exactly as it is. And so that's why it's my favorite chapter of the book.
For
How
sure.
about you? What's your favorite?
Well, my favorite is courage. I think this has been something that has been a huge growth opportunity for me personally. But what I love about courage and what I love about that chapter of our book is courage is action, right?
Yeah.
You either come at it as from fear or you come at the situation from courage. And fear is kind of stuck in the mud, not getting anything done. When we act out of that mindset of courage, we can actually move the needle forward.
Yeah.
We can actually make those small little tweaks on a daily habit to, increase our lifestyle a year from now.
Yeah.
So what I love about that is there's just that concept of like struggle is okay,
Yeah.
right? Like, especially when we're dealing with other people in these super intimate relationships we have inside of our family, like it's not always going to go awesome, but that struggle, it provides growth, right? It provides a mirror of, we can look at ourselves and think, okay, what do we got going on here?
Yeah.
Right. Allows the other people in our lives to do the same. And so it's just that the concept of coming from our lives out of that mindset of courage allows us to do what we have to do, even if we know it's going to really, really suck or be super uncomfortable. Right. Like for me, dealing with anything emotional, it's like, okay, this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it.
But we're going to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is for sure my favorite chapter in the book.
And you guys, I'm so excited about the bonuses that we have as part of this launch process, because when I think about like the end hope of this book, right? Like the whole hope is to like make change possible. And so when we were thinking through like, what are the ways we support that, not only through this book, but through the bonuses and the other offers that we have, like that is the part. It's back to that courage. Like what is the action that we take that makes meaningful change to us, and not like what we're supposed to do. Like there are so many lists that were invented by some person that I don't know who they were about how we are supposed to be, what's supposed to be our measures of success. And they don't matter. And that's why change is so hard, because we're making changes based on somebody else's reality instead of on our own reality. And so our bonuses are geared at like the action you can start to take, the questions you can start to ask yourself to dive into like, what is the meaning for you? Not for me, not for Jake, not for your neighbor, but like for you in your life and in your family. The other part of, the experience with this book is both Jake and I have the great privilege of being Unbeatable Mind coaches. And the beautiful part of a coaching experience with Unbeatable Mind is that like we are in the jar and we cannot read our own label. We've had coaches for everything in life, right? Any sports team, any musical instrument, like teachers of everything. And then we get to adulthood and we're supposed to just like figure out the rest. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that even just having like another set of ears and eyes that are like truly in a caring, like intentional manner to support like your own growth and your own goals and the life that you are really living and taking steps to, change patterns and identify beliefs that maybe aren't even true for you. Like that part of our work is also so important. We have a really amazing offering coming up starting the week of October 25th. Jake's doing a dad's group, I'm doing a mom's group, and we are going to do 4 weeks of like body regulation, mindset regulation, and creating goals that matter to you so that you can make these things your reality, not just something you were supposed to do and then it fell off the wayside and we feel bad about it. Like, no, it is time for powerful action around your most important goals. So if you want to find out more about our coaching offering, you can also find that at thetotalpotential.com and head over to the coaching link and we can get in touch about offerings that we have coming up. We also offer one-on-one coaching, like really awesome opportunities to take the work of the book to the next level. Yeah. More than just reading. This is reading and doing. So yeah, super excited for that as well. Okay, you guys, we have another amazing offer. The Legacy Journal app has partnered with us today to share a free trial of their product. You guys, this app is so cool because it's an opportunity. Like how many times have you said like, oh, I wish I had written down that thing that was hilarious that my kid just said. And then like, the next day you can't even remember what the wording of it was. Yeah. And the beauty of having this on an app, which we're on our phones, let's be honest, plenty, we can do this, the pictures, the notes, the memories, like in real time. And so if you go to the Legacy Journal app or legacyjournal.app /free 60, it's all on the ticker there. They are offering a free 90-day trial for all of our audience. And we're so grateful for that. In the part where it says, how did you hear about us? You just enter Total Potential. And instead of the 60 days, you get 90 days free. So definitely check it out. Such a fun way to just keep the memories and look back and see like all the growth that really does happen like one day at a time inside of families. And then outside, so Legacy Journal app, check them out. We are thrilled, and I'm gonna have Jake talk more about this because he's all in on the United Heroes League, but we are thrilled to be supporting United Heroes League with our launch.
Yeah, so like Cole said, this is a organization that's very near and dear to my heart. I've been involved with Shane and his mission at the United Heroes League. It's crazy to think that, over 10 years ago, we were doing a little 3-on-3 game in Cottage Grove. And what Shane has put this thing and how many military families he's helping is just absolutely incredible. So we're going to play a little bit of a larger of a video in a second. But before we do that, I just wanted to just say, we're so honored that Shane is allowing us to be a part of what they're doing in a small way, right? So what's so cool about today is that any of the books that are sold, 20% of that is going to the United Heroes League. And, so maybe that's a pair of skates for a kid to play hockey or a baseball bat or an association fee so that a military kid has an opportunity to play sports while his mom and dad are off keeping our country free. Yeah. So I think in everything that's going on right now, and It's just kind of a crazy world, but we're just so lucky to live here. We're so lucky to live in this country. And it's because of the men and women that have risked their lives to keep us free. So we're just so blessed. We're so excited to do this and to be partnering with Shane and the United Heroes League. And, so hopefully we sell a lot of books and we can cut them a big check. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So yes.
No.
Yeah.
Roll it. Check out more. United Heroes League, such a cool organization.
There are 5 million children of military families here in the United States. But unlike their parents, these kids never volunteered for this, never signed up to serve, never wanted to say goodbye. But they do all the same. The mission of the United Heroes League is to keep military kids active and healthy while their parents serve our country both here and abroad. And we do this by providing access to a wide range of sports activities. We offer these kids everything from bats and balls to the kinds of crucial developmental skills and life-changing experiences that often only sports can give. More than 90% of donations that go to the United Heroes League end up helping our kids. That's why more than 100 pro athletes and 39 sports teams have signed on to help. They believe in what we're doing and trust the way we're doing it. Through the United Heroes League, these kids get to do things their families might not otherwise be able to afford. They can play on sports teams, they get equipment, get to go to camps or special training clinics. They even get to meet and spend time with real professional athletes. The bottom line is United Heroes League makes a difference. But why is it so important to keep these children and their families strong? One simple reason. The family unit is the building block of our armed forces. They aren't holding the line for us. They are the line. So we are only as strong as they are. And that's why we must do our part to support them, just like they support us. We've come a long way and accomplished so much. But as long as there's a military kid with a parent away, we will be there, doing our best to help, to keep the military families who serve our country healthy, secure, and strong. Be a hero by helping a hero. Support the United Heroes League today.
Yeah, you guys, I've seen that video like quite a few times, and every time I'm like, okay, no crying, no crying allowed. It's just amazing the work that this local organization is doing to support, like, not only the men and women that serve this country, but their families, like the people who didn't necessarily get to sign up to serve this country, but do serve this country. Yeah. It's really remarkable.
It says it right in the video, right?
Yeah.
The parents enlist, but the kids, right, they have to go with mom and dad being gone sometimes. So just an incredible thing. And like we said, we thank you so much for the support of the book, and in turn allowing us to support United Heroes League.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, this is kind of fun because when you do work like this sometimes, right, it's like I would never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah.
And so this work in family, like, some of it feels serious, but some of it's like so fun. And so we have a handful and embarrassing. We'll make sure Jake's okay over here. Yeah. But we would love to just show you how this work kind of shows up in our families. The first is, we'll go the serious route first, okay? So my kids have decided that, like, ice baths are, I was training for ice baths because they're like my least favorite thing ever. And I have to do them as part of this event I'm attending coming up. And so as I was training for them, my kids are like, oh, I'll try that. And now, like, that's something they think is like, hey, on Thursday, we're taking an ice bath.
That's awesome.
So check it out, ice baths at the Birchback house.
Nice deep breaths, guys. You've got it. Oh yeah. You need to shake, shake. That's right.
You got this, Will.
Oh, he's going in. Get it. Get it. Yeah, Billy. Yeah.
You got it, we'll
good
keep
job.
breathing. Big breaths, fill those lungs.
The cold.
Attaboy, Mom, let's go!
I got an attaboy. Ooh. Ah.
Get those thighs, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come on!
Ooh.
You
Why
got
is our back sound so slippy?
I know.
this! See?
What are you doing? Sorry, I slipped. Nice. Unfazed.
Good job, Mom!
Okay, guys, you tell me. Why do we do this?
We do this to help our body.
Your own words, not my words.
We use this to help our bodies and like get all the bad toxins out of our body.
To be fair, I've only done it once.
Okay, that's fair. Billy, what do you like about it? Why do you do ice baths?
Helps with your mental toughness. It's a good challenge.
What's the hardest part about it?
Getting your chest in,
Okay. So I gotta get a little lower, is what you're saying?
if you want the
I
hardest
go
part.
slipping so far. I put my chest in.
You'll go under if you put your chest in, I believe.
Also, it really helps with soreness. Like even just I was in there for 2 minutes and I already feel way better. It like condenses the muscles.
Oh yeah, baby. I do it because this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Really?
I would do anything other than this.
You'd rather go skydiving?
I would. Skydiving seems fun.
Okay, that one I have to think about, but I would do a lot of things before I would want to do this.
Retire.
Oh yeah, I mean.
And that's why I do it.
Retire.
Because you know what? Sometimes you do the things you don't like to do so that you can become the thing you want to be. Ooh.
Okay, so that's maybe a little more serious. I would just like to note my daughter putting her toe in the tub. God bless her. And that's the part of doing this work in family. Like it's only ever an invitation. Hey, would you like to join me? Like there's no pressure. I don't care actually if she's like underneath the water or if she's sitting on the side just like with us. So super fun to see them doing that. But next up is a little bit of a laugh because as the inflexible yoga instructor that I am, my kids have a lot of fun with funny yoga. So check it out.
So our first move will be dancer. Oh, I meant this kind of dancer. Oh. Okay, next move. Let's try butterfly. Oh, I meant this. Okay. Downward dog will. Okay, let's go downward dog. Oh! You are not making this easy, are you? this. Oh, this is not your friend, is it? Okay. So I'm guessing you like foods. We're gonna try one more thing. It's pretty easy. You just do this and then flip back. I got the Pringle personally.
It's awesome.
I don't know if you can, you always think your own kids are pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue into a couple of videos of my crew. Like we mentioned earlier, a little embarrassing from my dance moves here, but so in our videos, the big thing with our kids is we love being in nature also. So we get a little dance party playtime with my daughter Dylan, and then doing some things active outside with Jax and with Dylan. So hope you enjoy. See the moves. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? Yeah, so I was just telling Cole offline, it's so funny how God made me able to play professional sports and run marathons and do all this crazy stuff, but clearly dancing wasn't one of those skills.
Dancing's gonna get there. I love it.
But yeah.
But God bless Jake, right? Because more dads dancing in the kitchen would be a good thing. Yeah, for sure. Okay, you guys, we have just a few minutes left. Like, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate with us. This book has been like such a work of love. It literally feels like my heart is like on a set of pages, and I know Jake feels that way too. There are a couple of people like we could not have done this without. One is Robin Elvig. She had so much tenacity and just love to help us see this project through. Another is the whole team, who is phenomenal at NG Enterprises. They have been remarkable.
Yeah.
A huge thank you to Dane Espegard and his work with the Dream Machine. Like, you're gonna see more from Dane and us hopefully in the future, because his work and our work go together so well.
For sure.
To the Legacy Journal app, please check them out. Their product is just such a nice way to capture what's really happening in day-to-day life, so that it doesn't just go sailing by. I feel like I'm for sure forgetting someone.
Yeah,
but to our families, oh my gosh, our families have been phenomenal. Writing a book and putting a book out into the world certainly takes a certain amount of time and effort, and our families have been so remarkable. My kids woke up today and they're like, "Mom, it's lunch day."
Yeah. So
sweet and kind. Can't say thank you enough for that.
All the patience that it takes for them to when we're trying out new things and all these crazy things going on. So being good sports and all that.
Yeah, they've been remarkable.
Yeah. We also, obviously we've talked about it, but we just thank you so much for the support of the book today. know that 20% is going to go to the United Heroes League. We're super pumped about that. So we just thank you so much for that. And like Cole said, also make sure you check out Dane, the Dream Machine, the Legacy app. Stay tuned to our podcast. We have so many cool things coming up on that with all of the guests and cool people.
Like really fun stuff coming up on the podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast is growing really quickly. So we're getting to have some like really fun conversations that all tie back to like just the most important work there is to do, which is in our families. If there's anyone you know who you think or wants to live a life of growth and love and just loving their lives together, like please share the book, the Amazon link, the totalpotential.com/book, that page where they can order the book, they can get their bonuses. Yeah. Lots of ways to get the book and share the book. And we're just so grateful for any and all of it, because at the end of the day, like, when I think about, what doing this work in our family makes possible.
Yeah. And it's so cool too, right? It's wherever you are. That's
wherever you are.
Wherever your family's at, wherever you are at.
Yeah.
It's a perfect time to start. So so please join the community. We'd love to go on this journey with like-minded people.
Yeah, and it's easy to subscribe at our site. Just submit your email address so you can get all the latest for the content and the podcast and all that good stuff. It's all right there. I think I just want to say also how grateful we are to sort of like kind of the invisible faces that are our Total Potential community. Like we don't get to be in person with you, and yet we do this work like every single day, knowing that it's for you and for your family. And so even though we don't get to like, high five you at the gym or, congratulate you on doing the work in your family, just know that it's like, with all of our heart, it's for you. And what becomes possible for any one family that does this work, we just can't say enough about, where our hearts are in doing this. Not only the book, the coaching, the website, like the podcast, all of it. It's all the hope for every family.
Yeah. I think you said it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I want to do like a little cheers to round this out, but Jake and I both have water.
Yeah.
And an empty water.
Empty water.
Yes. Counting the ounces, baby.
Yep.
Okay. Cheers to you. It's been a remarkable experience writing this book with you. I got a text from our mom during this event, just saying like how much she loves us and it's fun to see us doing this. And I'm not sure we ever like saw this happening.
Yeah.
And yet it's been like the most important work of our life. So
for sure.
Cheers to you and to your family and getting to do this work alongside of you. It really like means the world.
Yeah. And I would say thank you to you. I think, the coolest part about this journey has been able to do it together and to learn from you and everything that you've done. And I mean, it's a pretty cool deal. It feels crazy that it's here.
Yes.
All this work kind of, coming to a head today. But the awesome thing is we just talked about before we started today is the starting line.
Yeah, it's the beginning of what's next.
From what we're super excited about where this is all going. So
yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. And when you say like where it's all going, like that it sparks so much hope in me, because where it's going is like any one person who does the work, their family life being completely different from here on out.
100%.
And it's like a chance to get off that hamster wheel, a chance to like make time your own, a chance to have meaningful and like positive growth-oriented connections with the people we signed up to do this life with.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, just a million thank yous. We wish all of you nothing but the very, very best. Please check out the book at thetotalpotential.com/book. We will be on social this afternoon to just answer any questions, follow up on comments. It's been so great having you here live. And yeah, we'll check you guys out soon.
Yeah.
Take care. Thank you guys
See you
so
later.
much.